Aloha, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks on YouTube, episode 24. Um, it's been a interesting, fun week, and it's gonna get even more fun, more interesting. Um, let's start off with some picks for UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas. Um, the main event is Cory Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. A terrific matchup, exciting matchup at the 135-pound weight class. Um, I'm gonna make my predictions here, and let's start from the top. So we got Sandhagen, Yadong. I actually like both fighters. Um, Cory Sandhagen got very close to being the interim 135-pound champion, but fell short against guys like um, Peter Yan. Peter Yan, he will be facing Sean O'Malley coming up at one of the big pay-per-view events, and I believe that is at UFC 280. So, but with Cory Sandhagen, he did go the distance with both Peter Yan and TJ Dillashaw. Um, Now, Cory Sandhagen also has a notable fight. He did lose to in the first round to Aljamain Sterling, Funkmaster, and then so this fight was Song Yadong. So Cory Sandhagen is 14-4. He is the slight favorite in this one. Song Yadong, the slight underdog, 19-6-1. Um, Song does have some quickness. He does have some power in his hands. Cory Sandhagen, I just mostly seen him just do well, just standing up really. Um, I honestly thought that he did enough to beat TJ Dillashaw, but TJ also brought his A game kind of to that fight. So uh, this one's a tough one to call. I feel like Son Yudong is on his way up. Cory Sandhagen is pretty much one of the top guys at 135. So it's a 5 round fight main event, and I have a feeling this fight will go. Son Yudong will win by finish in the 4th round. Um, that was a tough one to call because I really want Song Yudong to win this one. So next up we have a co-main event. We have the Chidi Najakwani. He's 22-7, slight favorite, going up against the slight underdog RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez, who's 12-4. This should be an explosive fight. I don't expect this to go 3 rounds. I believe the fight will probably end in the first round, and I have Chidi Nadrakwani winning by TKO. Next up, we have a fight between Andre Fili, who's 21-9, slight favorite, going up against the slight underdog, the 16-6 Bill Algeo. I think I'm gonna pick Andre Fili for this one. Next up, we have Joe Pfeiffer, 9-2. He's the favorite in this one against the 8-3 Allen Medovsky, who's 8-3, but I'm picking Joe Pyfer to win this fight. We have next up Tanner Boser, 28-1. He's the favorite going up against the underdog Rodrigo Nascimento, who's 8-1. This one, I'm actually gonna pick Rodrigo Nascimento to win this fight. Next up on this card is actually the opener for the main card. Anthony Hernandez, who's 9-2. He is the favorite, going up against the underdog Marc Andre Barriault. I'm leaning towards picking Anthony Hernandez to win this fight. So now we get to the prelims. We got the Damon Jackson, who's 21-4-1. He's the underdog in this fight, and he's going up against Pat Sabatini, who's 17-3. He's the favorite. You know what? I am picking Sabatini to win this fight. Next up, we have Trevin Giles, 14-4. He's the favorite going up against the Luis Cosce. Luis Cosce, 7-1. Should be a good fight. I am picking Giles to win this fight. Next up, we have the 6-1 Denise Gomez. She's the underdog in this one, going up against the favorite Luma Lukebunmi, 6-3. This fight will probably go the distance. I got Gomez beating Luma Lukebunmi. Well, this one should be good. The next one is Trey Odin, 15-5, the underdog. He's going up against the favorite, the 12-0 Daniel Zellhuber. I'm picking Zellhuber to win this fight. He did just not long ago. I think he won a contract on the Dana White Contender Series. So we got next up the Maria Agapova. She's 10-3, slight underdog going up against the slight favorite, the 10-7 Jillian Robertson. I think Agapova will win this fight. Next up, we have Tony Gravely, 23-7. He's the underdog going up against the 12-0 favorite Javid Bassarat. I'm picking Bassarat to win this one. Bassarat also, I think, won a contract on the Dana White Contender Series. So, the first fight of the night to open this 14-fight card, we got Nicolas Mota. He's the favorite. He's 12-4. He's going up against the 15-6-1 underdog Cameron Van Camp. And if I had picked someone in this one, I am picking Nicolas Mota to win the fight. So those are my picks for UFC Vegas. At the UFC Vegas, UFC Apex. Should be a good card. 14 fights. It's going to start, I believe, at 1 p.m. Main card starts at 4 p.m. It should end around 7 something. And which is a good idea because the Canelo fight with Triple G is going to be around 8 something. So it'll be a good lead-in. Speaking of which, if I'm picking the winner for Canelo and Triple G, I may have said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I am picking Triple G to win by decision over Canelo. And I believe this might be Triple G's last fight, so he's going to announce his retirement pretty much soon after this fight. So, win, lose, or draw. So yeah, for those fight predictions, go make some money off of those picks. I feel pretty confident about most of them, so have fun on Saturday on those. Um, I also want to get into um, the week 2 of the NFL season. Um, so the Chargers and the Chiefs both played each other last night on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Um, the quality of what you saw on TV, I think it was done pretty well. Great quality. Heard some good news about it from other people. Now, aside from that, the game itself, it looked like the Chargers had the game in hand, looked pretty well in almost all phases. There were some questionable calls, which is kind of expected, but the one that kind of stood out was Chargers were up by 10. Um, Chargers got an interception, but under further review, it got overturned and it was considered an incomplete pass. Ball touched the ground, even though it looked like the Chargers defender had corralled it, put both of his hands underneath the ball before it got to the grass, had control of it. But the referee saw something differently, saw the ball touch the ground. So from that point on, it seemed like the momentum had shifted. It got to a point where the Chargers and Chiefs then got tied at 17 in the fourth quarter. And then Chargers, well, Justin Herbert led the team down the field, got to like the 3 yard line, first and goal. Chargers seemed like they're about to score again until Justin Herbert threw a pass to, it was intended for Everett, our tight end. And the Chiefs intercepted the ball near the goal line and ran it back for 99 yards to the house, and they scored a touchdown. Pick six, and now the Chiefs were ahead 24-17. And then, well, um, Justin Herbert got hurt. He took a big shot to his ribs. Turns out he has a fracture to his rib cartilage. So he may be good to practice, and then hopefully he can play the home game against the Jacksonville Jaguars coming to SoFi Stadium. Um, so yeah, uh, it was kind of a scare because Justin Herbert is our captain, our leader. He's our gunslinger, our MVP, and to see that happen, seeing him wince so badly. And then there was a pass in the fourth quarter. I think it was like 3rd and 1, and he just literally just threw the ball away because he just couldn't bear the pain right at that play because he was hurting a lot with his ribs. So that pretty much dashed any hopes of the Chargers winning the game. Now, granted, after that, Justin Herbert did throw a touchdown pass before, with a minute 11 to go in the game, made it 27-24 Chiefs, but um, onside kick by the Chargers. The first guy on the Chiefs that touched it did not secure the ball, so the ball was actually on the ground. Everybody was trying to go for it, but the Chiefs recovered it before the Chargers did, and they ran out the clock. So Chargers lost 24-27. So Chargers are 1-1, Chiefs are 2-0, and we still need to consider that the Chiefs are our worst and best opponent. So a team to look after. It might be Chargers and Chiefs down the road. So, well, yeah. Um, some great touchdown catches by Mike Williams, also by Palmer and Horvat. So Justin Herbert did get his touchdown passes, got 334 yards passing, but we just didn't have that victory. So back to the drawing board. So hopefully Justin Herbert will be healthy enough to play. And if not, then maybe our backup quarterback can pick up the slack for a week. So cross my fingers. So in other action for week 2, so let's go with my predictions here. So we got the Buccaneers and the Saints at the Saints. The winner in that one, I'm going to be picking the Buccaneers. They are the slight favorite in this one. Next up, we have the Panthers visiting the Giants. Giants are the slight favorite in this one, but I'm picking the Panthers to win this one. Next up, we have the Jets visiting the Browns. Browns are the favorite. I got the Browns winning this one. Next up, we have the Commanders visiting the Lions. I'm picking the Commanders to win this one. The Lions are actually a slight favorite in this one, but I'm picking Commanders. The Patriots are visiting the Steelers. Steelers are actually not the favorite in this one, and I'm going to pick the Steelers to beat the Patriots. So that should be interesting. Colts are visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colts are favored in this game, not by much, but I'll pick the Colts to win. Next one up, we got Dolphins and Ravens. Ravens are favored. I'm picking the Ravens to beat the Dolphins. Should be a good one, though. You got Lamar Jackson, you got Dobbins, you got Mark Andrews, and then the Dolphins got Tyreek Hill, and what was his name? Chris Edmonds or something. So Tua might play. I heard he might have been benched, but we'll see what happens out in Miami. Next up, we have Falcons visiting the Rams. Rams are a big favorite in this one. I think Rams will pull it out, beat the Falcons. Hopefully they can handle Kyle Pitts. Next up, we have the Seahawks visiting the 49ers. 49ers are a big favorite in this one, too. I am picking the 49ers to beat the Seahawks. Next up, we have the Bengals visiting the Cowboys. Bengals are the favorite. I'm feeling good about the Bengals beating the Cowboys. Next up, we have the Texans visiting the Denver Broncos. I would say Broncos are a big favorite in this one. I'm picking the Broncos to beat the Texans. I still like Russell Wilson. And Melvin Gordon. And Jerry Jeudy. We got Cardinals visiting the Raiders. That should be a good one. Raiders are favored, but I'm picking the Cardinals to beat the Raiders. Let's see. Next up, Sunday Night Football. We got the Bears visiting the Packers. I actually might pick the Bears to beat the Packers in this one. Shocker, huh? And then we have 2 Monday Night Football games. The first one is the Titans visiting the Bills. I got the Bills beating the Titans in that one. Bills are a big favorite. Next up, to end our week 2, we have the Vikings visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are slightly favored, but I'm picking the Vikings to win this one. So those are my picks for week 2 of the NFL season. You want to make some money, follow these picks. I feel mostly good about all of them. So yeah, and then I want to tell you guys I went to the Imagine Dragons concert last Tuesday. The opener was Kings Elliot. The band, music artist before Imagine Dragons came out was Macklemore. I'm glad I finally get to see Macklemore live. it was. Well, let's start off with Kings Elliot actually. Kings Elliot has some very sentimental music, kind of touches the heart. Um, it was a great concert from Kings Elliot, and then the the vibe, the mood started to pick up when Macklemore came out. A lot of energetic music. He actually has a new song coming out, Maniac. Um, I did hear some classics. Glorious, I heard Thrift Shop. That what got me going. I just love that song, Thrift Shop. And then of course, I think he ended on Can't Hold Us, which is one of his classic ones I love. And that one was, it got the crowd moving. Um, so it was kind of cool. Kings Elliot, I think I would give her performance 8.3. Macklemore, I think I'm going to give him like an 8.8. And then I think it was at 8:50 p.m. Imagine Dragons came out. And I gotta say, watching Imagine Dragons live in concert is now my favorite concert of all time. Um, I give their performance, let's say a 9.8 out of 10. So that was a fun, exciting concert. Um, got to hear a lot of classics. Got to hear Radioactive. Got to hear Natural. Heard Bones. Um, Follow Me, Enemy. Um, uh, and Imagine Dragons had used two different stages actually. The main stage in the front of the whole amphitheater. Um, uh, this was at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater down in Chula Vista. Um, so there was a brief intermission because it allowed Dan Reynolds and Imagine Dragons to kind of move to the middle of the amphitheater where they have a mini stage set up. And the first song they tried to do, I believe there were some audio problems. You couldn't hear the audio. So it wasn't until Dan Reynolds realized that nobody can hear him sing unless you were like standing next to him. So he actually had to go back to the mini stage and they fixed the audio at that point. And I think he had to stay there with the band actually to have the audio to continue. So they have some sentimental songs too, and I really enjoyed that. And I was one of the people that turned on the flashlight on my phone and waved in the dark crowd. So that was pretty cool. Um, so overall, um, I love a lot of the visual effects, the CGI stuff that went with all the music. Um, I'm glad that Imagine Dragons put on a great concert, probably one of the best out there, and I really enjoyed myself. So got to meet Kimberly and Ava, who sat next to me actually. Big fans of Imagine Dragons. They actually came kind of late though. They came in like probably the second song of Imagine Dragons set. So they told me like the parking was crazy out there. I actually got the early bird parking, so I got there like at 5 or 4:55 actually, which is a good idea to do because early bird parking allows you to go in first and also kind of gives you an early exit as well during traffic. So look into that, guys. Um, so tonight I am actually going to the Jerry Seinfeld comedy show down at the San Diego Civic Theater downtown. Um, I think it's like a 9:30 show. So I'll be down there probably like around, I don't know, probably start leaving like around 7. maybe get a quick bite before the show starts. So that's the rest of my Friday here. And then I already gave my picks for Saturday's UFC event and for the Canelo Triple G fight. And then the NFL Sunday and Monday. So um well I did hear something about Roman Reigns. He might be defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Jake, no, Logan Paul. Logan Paul, who just signed on as a WWE superstar and will be challenging Roman Reigns for his titles. So that'll be, I guess, in Saudi Arabia, the crown jewel, coming up pretty soon. So yeah, that should be fun to watch. And then uh, we got some interesting matchups being developed these days. We got Bailey will be challenging Bianca Belair pretty soon for the Raw Women's Championship. Um, I think we also got um, Liv Morgan defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey coming up. And then we have some matchups with Seth Rollins challenging Bobby Lashley for his United States Championship. And then um, there's a interesting develop um, between Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. So that should be interesting, and that will determine a new number one contender um, to face Roman Reigns down the road. So yeah, some fun matchups being developed for storylines. Um, and I have heard something about AEW with some problems with CM Punk and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. There was some sort of backstage altercation. CM Punk seemed pissed off at the press conference. So those are some interesting predicaments going on over there. So uh, oh, I want to mention Queen Elizabeth did pass away earlier this week. She was 96. Um, Pretty sad to hear. It was kind of cool seeing Meghan, Markle, and Harry joining together with Prince William and Kate. And then I guess because the Queen has passed away, King Charles is now um, king. So, uh, well, that's it, guys. Other than the fact that the Padres are still trying to battle and maintain their last playoff spot in the National League playoffs, they have a 1.5 game lead on the Milwaukee Brewers for the sixth seed, the very last playoff spot. But the Brewers are playing the Yankees and the Mets for the next 6 games, while the Padres are playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. So should be a fun race to the end of the season. I think there's like 18 games left now, 17, 18 games left. So it's a mad dash for the playoffs. So cross my fingers for the Padres and the Chargers. So yeah. All right, guys. Oh, I want to mention the college football playoff is going to expand to 12 teams in either 2024 or 2026. So that does give San Diego State a chance at the playoff and the national championship. So there is a pathway. All right. Also, one more thing: the San Diego State Aztecs are going to go travel to Utah to face number 14 Utah. That should be something. So, um, yeah. Uh, Actually, a lot of things are going on the 17th. I actually kind of wish I could have seen Zhao Ying Summers, CJ Franco, and Rachel Sterling at the mic drop on Saturday night, but at the same time as the Canelo fight with Triple G. Oh, boof. All right, guys. Tiggy Maximus signing off. Have fun, everybody. Be safe. There goes.